Okay guys, so what I'm here to talk about today is why the San Francisco 49ers overpaid to extend Colin Kaepernick. Now if you haven't heard, it was reported by Adam Schefter at around 4 o'clock Eastern Time that the San Francisco 49ers and Colin Kaepernick have come to an agreement on an extension that is for 6 years and $110 million, with $61 million being guaranteed. Now, in my opinion, the San Francisco 49ers grossly overpaid Colin Kaepernick. Because if you look at the 23 games that Colin Kaepernick has started as the San Francisco 49ers starting quarterback, he hasn't been that much of an upgrade from Alex Smith. In those 23 games, Colin Kaepernick has had a record of 17-6. He has had a completion percentage of 59.8%. He's thrown for 5,011 yards with 31 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Now let's take a look at Alex Smith for the season and a half that he was with Jim Harbaugh as his head coach. Now, Alex Smith, during the season and a half that he was with Jim Harbaugh, started 25 games. He had a record of 19-5-1. He had a completion percentage of 64.3%. He grew for 4,881 yards with 30 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. So their stats are pretty close. Now, how is Colin Kaepernick making $10.1 million while Alex Smith is only making 7.5 in the final year of his deal? If I was the 49ers, I would have told Colin Kaepernick, hey look at your stats versus Alex Smith's stats while you were here. They're relatively similar. So you only deserve to be paid around $8 million a year, because if you want to get paid more, we could let you walk and find somebody like Alex Smith to replace you, and he'll do the exact same job. Furthermore, if you look at Colin Kaepernick last year, he struggled until Michael Crabtree came back in week 12. Up to week 12, the San Francisco 49ers had a record of 7-4 and were battling with the Arizona Cardinals for second place in the NFC West. And I'm just gonna give you some games before Michael Crabtree came back. Week 2 at Seattle, Colin Kaepernick went 13 of 28 with a completion percentage of 46.4. He threw for 127 yards and had 0 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. The next week, he faced Indianapolis at home. He went 13 of 27, had a completion percentage of 48.1, threw for 150 yards, had 0 touchdowns to 1 interception. And games like this kept showing up. Either he would only have 1 touchdown or maybe 0 touchdown to 1 interception, 0 touchdown to 2 interceptions. But when Michael Crabtree came back in week 12, he started taking off. Michael Crabtree first game was against St. Louis. In that game, he went 19 of 28. He had a completion percentage of 67.9. He threw for 275 yards, had 1 touchdown to 0 interceptions. Another game against Tampa Bay, he went 19 of 29, had a completion percentage of 65.5, threw for 203 yards, had 2 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. And finally, the last week of the season, which you could say was his best game of the year, he went 21 of 34, had a completion percentage of 61.7. He threw for 310 yards, had 2 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. And they won all 5 games when Michael Crabtree is in the starting lineup. Now the San Francisco 49ers are gonna run into some trouble because Colin Kaepernick, before this extension, was scheduled to make $1 million, around $1 million, and with him earning $1 million, they were $7 million under the cap. Now with him earning 10, they're $3 million over the cap. And I know the cap increases each year, but the problem is Michael Crabtree is supposed to be a free agent next year, and we have seen the dramatic effect that Michael Crabtree has on Colin Kaepernick because he's the only target that he really depends on. Now, in the 5 games that Michael Crabtree was in the starting lineup, he had 19 catches for 284 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, in the 3 games in the playoffs, he had 15 catches for 203 yards, So in 8 games, he basically had 34 catches for 487 yards. That's a pretty big chunk of production for basically half a season. Now my only question is the Colin Kaepernick contract gonna interfere with the 49ers signing Colin Kaepernick or not? That's it for right now, guys. Peace.